them. So like, it's never really been about looks, it's how you carry yourself. So that's why pretty is more so of an energy to me. And then when I say bitch, like, I love Tupac, so I love what he did with Thug Life. So I say bitch a lot in my songs. So when I say it, this is what I mean. It stands for boss, independent, tough, CEO, and I'm from the Bay, so the H means hyphy. Because you know we like to get lit.
I love it. When you talk about your love of Tupac and wanting people to see more than what we see with you physically, what do you think are two things that people would never guess from looking at you? Because you're gorgeous. Lip always popping, nails on, hello, body on,
Oh,
yes,
I like
ma'am.
nails on, hello. I know that's right.
But what's like a couple things that people would never know that you also do?
Well, I used to be a quarterback. I played football. So I was a quarterback, and I know how to surf.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get into COVID and quarantine. When you shut down and you can't go to studios, what have you learned about yourself? Maybe something that you didn't know you could do?
I like cooking from scratch.
Wait a minute. Village, should we test these skills real quick? Because I saw how folks in your generation were tripping off how KFC make gravy with chicken bits. So what can you cook from scratch? I keep hearing about the seafood mac and cheese.
Oh, seafood mac and cheese, but I love a good seafood Alfredo with a little bit of lemon zest. I don't want to give away my secrets, but the pasta and the pasta sauce is like, my little niche. I eat pasta every day, but sometimes I might throw a little bit of scallop, a little bit of squid, a little bit of lobster, some shrimp, saute it for a little bit, and then dump it in my little homemade Alfredo pasta, and it just tastes so good.
Let me find out that Huncho is eating real good.
No, but I gotta cook him meat. He like meat, so I gotta cook like steak, maybe Wagyu on a good day, but yeah.
When he slid into your DMs, he trended yesterday because people were like, will it really be that easy to pull somebody with just you icy, you need a glacier boy? Was it
First of all, I already had a crush on him. So I was like, you know what? I done manifested this man into my DMs. So when I like somebody, I don't play no games. I'm straight to the point. I don't got time for all that. So I just was like, what's up?
Now, with that said, was there any hesitance of dating somebody in the spotlight?
Yes, there was a lot of hesitance, and we actually was super low key for a really long time because, especially as a new woman coming into the game, they like to put women's success off on a man. So I was like, I wanted to keep that separate because I worked really hard to already get to where I was when I was at that place, and I didn't want people to start attributing my success to him.
Was there a conversation? I'm big on communication. Was there a conversation that you sat down with him and was like, look, ain't gonna be no features. I don't need no remixes. Just love up on me, rub this booty when I come home.
I love when he rubbed my booty, but he's more like, he motivates me to be the best artist that I can be. Cause he's been in the game for 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know. So he's already been through a lot of experiences. So sometimes when I have self-doubt or when I'm just not having the best day, he motivates me. But going back to your question, I just didn't want there to be a confusion off of, confusing my hard work. And then, the blogs, the critics, they try to put it off on a man.
How do you deal with that? You seem very family oriented. I love the videos with you and your mom. I've been watching your Icy Girl series, so it's oh, I feel like I know her family. How is it to have so much of your life so public, and is there anything that you miss being able to do before you couldn't walk out without people being like, I know them eyes, I know them nails, I know that walk?
Girl, so I'm weird. I used to go to the movies by myself. I used to go out to dinner by myself. I would be that girl at the bar with my drink and my oysters, just watching the game or watching whatever's on the bar screens. So I think I just miss being able to go out by myself. I like to go shopping by myself, pull up to the mall by myself, but I can't do that because I think it was when my type blew up. I went to the mall by myself and I started getting followed around the mall, and I was like, okay, I gotta go.
So since you're used to being by yourself, quarantine wasn't that big of a hurdle for you to just be
No, girl,
alone.
I was an only child for like 11 years. So like I have a lot of fun by myself.
Yeah, I heard somewhere that you were like a key kid at like fourth grade. You were letting yourself into the house while.
Yeah, I wasn't a key kid. My daddy gave me the keys to the house and I would walk home and I would go home, make myself some food and do my homework. So I've been independent for a really long time.
So when we talk about you growing in this game, especially as a female MC, were there any times where you had to give pushback because they wanted it to ride on your face? Or we want, no, we just want you to push your body, push sex. Were there times that you felt like you had to push back? And how did you feel
Um,
comfortable doing that if you did?
I think one of the biggest, not the biggest, but one of a decision I had to make was one of like my first nasty song. It was "You So," the
Mm.
You So nasty, girl, even nasty. And so I heard there was two sides of the story of the people who were I was working with. One, I wasn't nasty enough, and then another one was, are you sure you want to release a record where you're talking nasty because you haven't done that yet? So it was like I was getting two different types of opinions, but I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm a college girl. Yes, I'm a businesswoman. But when me and Quay go behind closed doors, you know, I get a little nasty. So it's like
Mm.
I'm a human. So I didn't. It was a struggle because I was like, do I release a record like that when my brand is so college, when it's so this, and that? But I was like, you know what? I'm a human being, and how is kids made today? So being nasty is just a part of human nature, it's a part of life.
You know what? As one of your pretty girls, I appreciate that. I think a lot of times y'all are boxed into one thing or the other. I don't think people understand that you rap, you write, you produce. So it's not just me being a cookie cutter version of anything. It was one of the things that I fell in love with first. The second is I semi met you at Broccoli City in DC almost 2 years ago. It was
Oh,
at the height of like Icy was just everywhere. And they were trying to get you to leave this area. And this girl was just like, and started breathing. And they were pulling on you. And you was like, oh no. Hey girl, you came. I sat in the corner and I watched you come, talk, take a selfie, you talk to her. What do you like? How are you? And that meant something to me. I've been in this game. I just celebrated my 10th year doing radio. There are people, thank you, that will not stop. And a lot of times, especially as Black media, we feel like once some celebrities hit a certain peak, it's like your fans that were thugging it out with you from your nastiest song to your best don't get that love. So before we continue, I want to say thank you. And even when I see you now, how tapped in you are with your fans. Everything you always say, we dropping this record, we're doing that. Can we talk about your relationship with your fans?
uh,
And you don't even really call them that. I call them village cousins, extended family.
I call them my little sisters, my little icy boys, my little icy girls. But even just going back to what you said at first, I always try to make time for when I can feel someone's energy and I can feel it on their face when like they really fuck with me. So it's like